Okay, so today we're going to be looking at large numbers again, and today we're going to be looking at even larger numbers than millions. So first of all, if we're looking at a number like this number, one thing you want to start with is putting in your commas. So counting from the right side, 1, 2, 3, there should be a comma, and then 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, and then there's 1, 2, 3. So we're finished with putting in our commas. Okay, so now we need to understand which or what the place value is for each one of these places. So this first place value right here is your ones place. I'm going to put an O for 1, and then your tens, put a T, and your hundreds, H for hundreds. Okay, so then your next place is thousands. Hold on just a second here. Okay, thousands, and then 10,000s and 100,000s. Okay, so then the next place is millions, 10 millions, and 100 millions. Right, and then the next place is billions, 10 billions, and 100 billions. Okay, now each one of these groups of three has a name. In other words, since these are all billions, we call this the billions period. And we call the next group the millions period. This is the thousands. Oops. Period. And the last group, we don't really have a name for that group as far as periods go. Okay, so you should know each one of those place values for each number there. And if you start from the right, you can see there's kind of a pattern, and it kind of repeats over and over and over again. Alright, so let's just say we take the number that we just looked at and we show it on something called an abacus, which I have drawn below. Now, abacus is just, usually it's wooden, and it has these different rods on it, and what you do is you get some beads, and you put beads on the rods that go with the numbers. So for instance, if you start on the very right, here, we have 1 in the ones place, and so this is the ones place right here. And so I'm going to put 1 bead right there for the 1. Now in the tens place, I have 2 beads. Okay. Now in the hundreds place, I have a 0, so I don't put any beads here. Okay. So then, and I don't have any beads in the thousands or the 10,000s. This is thousands. Oops, that's too thick. Make that a little thinner. Okay, so in the hundreds, I don't have any beads. I don't have any in the thousands, and I don't have any in the 10,000s. But in the 100,000s, I have 4 beads. Okay, and then in the millions, I have 3. And in the 10 million, 1 bead, and then in the 500 million, in the 100 million, I have 5 beads. Okay, so you see how the abacus shows how many we have in each place. Alright, so then the billions, I have 3. And then in the 10 billions, 7. And then in the 100 billions, 2 beads. Okay? So that's one way that sometimes in different countries they use abacus to show the values of numbers, and it's just telling you how many of each place value you have. So in other words, this 2 right here means you have 200 billions. And then here we have, if you count the beads, there's 7 10 billions. Alright, etc. So on your worksheet, you have an abacus with some beads on it, and I want you to write that number that's represented by the abacus there. Okay? That's part of your homework. Right, so next thing we're going to talk about is something called expanded form. Now, expanded form is writing your number and showing what each number really means or is valued at. So in other words, this number that I have here, 7,821,435, this 7 right here doesn't mean 7. It means 7 million, and we can write it like this, 7 times a million. Alright, and then plus 8 times 100,000, because that's the 100,000 place, plus 2 times the 10,000ths place, because the 2 is in the 10,000ths place, plus 1 times 1,000, plus 4 times 100, because 4 is in the 100th place, plus 3 times 10, because 3 is in the 10's place, and then plus 5, and you can say times 1, or you can just say 5 there. Okay? Let's just say times 1. Alright, so that is called expanded form, when you expand out every number and show what it actually means using multiplication and addition. Okay? So, now another way to kind of show how a number is valued is, it's not quite as long, but it's similar, and that is to take each one of these numbers and write down what its value is. So in other words, the 3 here is actually 3 million. Okay, and then 0 is nothing, but we have 6, which actually means 60,000. And the 5 here just means 5,000. And the 8 means 800. 2 means 20. So that is another way to write a number, kind of expanded out, showing the value of each number. Alright? So let's say we had this number, and I asked you to tell me what the digit 7, what is its value? Okay, it's not equal to 7. it's actually equal to 70 billion because it's in the 10 billionths place. So the 7 actually here, its value is 70 billion. Okay? Now, how about the 6? What is its value? Well, the 6's value is 6 million because it's in the millionths place. Alright? So how about the 2? Well, the value of the 2, the 2's value is 200,000. Okay, so you will have some problems where they ask you, first of all, to tell the place value, or the place, and then the value. So, let's do a couple of those with this number here. Erase. No, I don't want to do that. I want to erase this. Okay, so let's say that we are looking at the 9 and we want to know the place, first of all. Well, the place is, what place is that? Well, starting from the right, we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. So it's 100 millions. That's the place. Okay. So then what is the value of the 9? Well, it's 900 million. Okay? So you can finish those problems. Those are on page 81. Alright, so your homework then is going to be pages 78 through 81 in your Math Mammoth Book 5A. See you later.